In this video, we're going to create new user interface for our left side navigation menu, and it will have a label for users' first and last name. It will have profile image view, and it will have a table view controller with three menu options: main, about, and the logout. Okay, so let's do that. I will stop this application, go to my main storyboard, zoom out, and I'll open right side panel, and from my objects library I will look for view controller. I'll drag it to my main storyboard, resize it to iPhone 4-inch, and I will embed it into navigation controller. Editor, embed navigation controller. Okay, and resize it again. Okay, so this will be our left, or let's call it menu, something like this. And what we need picture, image for profile view, or let's call it actually navigation. Okay, and then let's resize image. It's going to be picture for our profile. Okay, and we need a label for first name and last name. Okay, and table view. I'll look for table view, drag and drop it into my view controller. Okay, and I will need one prototype cell, so I'll select table view, go into attributes inspector, and I'll add one prototype cell. And so that I can access this cell from my source code, I will give it identifier, and I'll call it my cell. Okay, so almost ready. Now what we need to have for this view controller is Swift file, which is a custom class. So let's go to our project and create a new file, and that's going to be, let's call it left side view controller. Left side view controller, subclass of UI view controller, language Swift. Next, create. Okay, left side view controller is created. Let's go back to main storyboard, select view controller, and under identity inspector we will provide a custom class which is left side view controller, and for identity storyboard ID we will also put left side view controller, just the same value. Okay, almost done. So now what we need to do, we will populate this table view with a few menu options. We will put it, we will have three: main, about, and logout. So I will go to, I'll actually hide the right side panel, open assistant editor, hide right side panel, just make sure it's left side view controller, yes. Okay, and before I write any code, let me select view control, this table view, and I will need to create a couple of connections. So I will hold my control button on my keyboard, click, drag, and drop it here into my view controller. And for the outlets, I will choose data source, and we will connect delegate later. Okay, so for our table view to display, to be able to display some data in it, we need to make it conform to a protocol, and that protocol is called UI TableView data source. TableView data source. Okay, and now if I hold command button and click on UI TableView data source, I will see the functions that I need to implement. Some of these functions are optional, but there are a couple of them that are required to implement, and one of them is number of rows in section, and another is self-forward index path. So I'll copy these two required functions. I'll go back to my view controller, and this error will be until I implement this function. So I'll place them here, just remove these comments, and add implementation for body of these functions. Okay, so the first one returns number of rows in section. We wanted to have 3 rows, which is our menu. So I will need to create an array with 3 items in it, which is main, about, and logout. So that's going to be an array of menu items, and it's going to be an array of strings, and the items are going to be main page, about page, and logout page, or sign out, we call it sign out. Okay, and now this function numbers of rows and sections need to return a count of this menu items. So I will say return menu items count, which is going to be 3. So our table view will have exactly 3 rows. Now the next one, self-forward index path, needs to return a table UI table view cell. So let's do that, and we will declare a new cell. I'll call it my cell, and we are going to dequeue this cell from our table view. So I'll say table view, which is this variable here. It's passed as a parameter, and I'll put dot, and then I will say dequeue reusable cell with identifier for index port. This is what I need. Okay, and this will this function needs to this function accepts identifier. I remember it was my cell. For index path, I'll just copy this index path here, and let's just double check that this is correct identifier. Remember, when we created this table view, we assigned an identifier for this cell. So I'll select this cell, and I'll make sure this cell is selected. I will open right side document outline, and here we go, table view, my cell. So I'll select my cell, open right side panel here, and go to attributes inspector, and I'll make sure that identifier for this table view cell is my cell. Or I can copy this value, hide it, and then in the function dequeue reusable cell with identifier, I will paste my cell. Okay, so it returns a cell, and I will say return my cell, because we called it my cell here, so we need to return this variable. And I think it wants us to downcast it to UI table view cell, like this. Otherwise, let's build it and see why is it complaining. Use of a table. Oh right, I messed up. I'm writing an Objective-C, code. Oh my god. Okay. So it's going to be my cell of type UI table view cell and DQ with reusable identifier, and it's going to be a table view cell. Okay, so now we return the cell, but when the cell is returned, it's going to be empty, meaning there will be no text on it, no value. So we need to sell a label for each cell in a row. And our labels are here. These are menu items. The first label will be main, the second label will be about, and the third label will be sign out. So let's do that. So every label has, every cell has a text label, and every text label has a text. So I will say text equals to menu items, and for each item, for each row, the row 0, we need to get an item from our menu items. And the row count you can get here, for example, index path row, so that will be a row 0, and then next iteration row 1, and the next iteration row 2. So we will get items, we'll get the value from menu items for row 0, row 1, and row 2. And we will set it to our return cell. Okay, so this is it for this video. I guess we can't run it yet, really, because before we for us to test it, we need to first put it into a navigation drawer. So let's pause here and then install navigation drawer, and then we will be able to run and see if this code works.